And this question is, what can I do to keep from accepting my cheating boyfriend back? That was her question. Her question is, what can I do to keep from accepting my cheating boyfriend back? Before we say, what can I do? Because I can give you something tangible to do, but what I want you to do, I want to challenge you to think first, right? That's what I love to do, probably above everything, is to really challenge you to think, because I want you to know what happens when you keep accepting him back, right? I want you to know what you are affirming, right? Because remember, I had you all do affirmations, and I said, even though affirmations can cultivate a healthy influence over ourselves, it can also cultivate an unhealthy influence depending on what we're affirming. So when you keep taking your cheating boyfriend back, this is what you're affirming about yourself when you do, okay? You're saying that I'm willing to compromise my self-worth for less than what I deserve. And by continuously accepting my cheating boyfriend back, this means that I'm allowing disrespect as well as betrayal to become a normalcy in my life. And what this does is that it leads me to believe that this is all I'm worthy of. It leads me to ongoing stress, anxiety, as well as emotional pain. It makes it difficult for me to trust. It leaves me stuck in an unhealthy cycle, which interferes with my own personal growth and the possibility of quality relationships. And the reason why it's important to actually know this is because you need to understand what it's doing to you rather than focusing on the idea of holding on to the relationship. So it's important to recognize the damage that it's doing to you and seeing the bigger picture, right? Let's talk bigger picture. That means that we got to see, what will our chapters keep saying if we keep taking back the cheating boyfriend, right? And so when we start looking at the bigger picture, the bigger picture is that taking him back is going to impact your confidence. You taking him back is going to lead to long-term psychological wounds. Taking him back is going to cause you to miss out on the chance to experience a relationship where trust and respect is foundational. Because even if you met someone like that, the self-sabotage that comes with being with someone like this will cause you to not embrace something better. You got to see the bigger picture that taking him back, your cheating boyfriend back, is actually going to prevent you from evolving and becoming the best version of you. And the reason why this needs to be said, because everything that I'm going to coach you all on tonight, I am going to go back on the things that we talked about this week, because that framework applies. So in other words, remember, I said you have to make an identity switch, right? And in this identity switch, there's the current version of you, there's the new version of you. In between that growth is resistance. But what happens is, if you keep taking him back, that's going to resist you from being the best version of yourself. So you have to now be resistant on continuously going back. And it's also, you keep taking your cheating boyfriend back, is also going to distort your perception of love. Okay. And you need to know that this is the exchange, right? This is the actual exchange of taking this individual back. And we have to know this because we often like to deny the reality of what's going on, because it's actually easier to focus on the good times you share. You know, one of the things that I always say is no relationship is 100% bad. No relationship is 100% wrong. There are parts of a relationship that could be good. However, when your selective memory is only focused on the good times, then you can overlook the pain as well as the betrayal, right? And that's important to understand. We can also deny the reality of what's going on because you may fear being by yourself. And that fear of loneliness can drive you to accept less than what you deserve. Denying the reality can also keep us holding on to the fact that one day they will change. And that keeps you in a cycle, not to mention that it creates a false power that you have that forms this capability to change them, and you don't. You don't have the capacity to change this person. You can also deny the reality of what's going on because the investment that's been made. A relationship is an investment, ladies. So the time you put in, the emotions you put in, the energy you put in, the resources you put in, it makes it challenging to let go even when it's unhealthy. Not to mention that we don't want to face the truth. Sometimes facing the truth means that a change has to be made. I talked about this on the kickoff call on Sunday, sitting with the truth. And because you keep accepting him back, it's important to see that this is a cycle. See, I needed to say all that first before I just say, okay, well, what do you need to do? It's important to know what it's doing to you. And now that you keep accepting him back, keep accepting is saying this is a cycle, meaning that this is a pattern. This is a habit. You are on a merry-go-round with this person. And so what this means is that a disruption needs to take place. See, everything that I taught you all this week was not just for the week. These are the same things that has to apply because right now you have a certain cycle with this man. The routine is I cheat, you take me back. We do good for a while. I cheat again. You take me back. We do good for a while. I cheat again. Most likely that's the same cycle. And so we have to disrupt that cycle because here's the thing. You are vulnerable to return because honestly, if you weren't, you wouldn't keep going back. And so what this means is that attempting to do it on your own right now in this season is probably too challenging for you without support. Doing it on your own will probably be too risky because of your emotional state with this individual. Doing it on your own right now is definitely limiting your perspective, as well as most likely your ability to stay away is going to be less effective. And so disruption means, who do I need that will help me take what I'm currently aware of? Because here's the thing, you are aware that this is happening. I talked about that on Monday. That was the first A of the 5A framework is awareness because we can't do anything unless we know where we are. So it's good that you're aware, but we got to move on that awareness. Remember, I shared my story with you all on Monday, how I was stuck in my story. I had a level of awareness, but I needed to move on that momentum. So the fact that you know that I keep taking my cheating boyfriend back, we have to now take what we're aware of and elevate that clarity so you can make informed decisions moving forward. You have to take that current awareness and see and get strategies that will guide you through actionable steps. Remember, a woman of action. I talked about that on the 4th day. You want to take this current awareness that you have and start getting some level of objective feedback so that you can gain a clearer perspective because you're aware, but you're not at a place where you have accepted it fully. I talked about that on day 2. You need to take the awareness that you have so that you can get the emotional support that can help you manage your stress or even your doubts. Because even if leaving is the best and safe decision, you're still going to doubt, you're still going to stress, you're still going to probably attempt to blame yourself. You may actually still feel guilty. You may think you can still change it. All of that stuff can cause you to go back to somewhere that you don't belong. You need the help to help you identify potential obstacles and solutions for overcoming them. And you also need someone to help hold you accountable so you can stay committed. And so in other words, we have to build on that awareness, and that needs to be intentional. So in a nutshell, this is where we have to allow ourselves to get the help that we need to stay focused. One of the things that I mentioned on Monday is that I was a functional woman, but I also had some unhealthy addictions. And when it comes to this area of relationships, we don't necessarily like to classify that sometimes we can be addicted to a specific pattern or even a person. And in order to detach, not just walk away, but detach. Because here's the thing, you've created a pattern with this man. This man knows that I can come back. And one of the things that I said, I forgot what day this week, one day this week I said, is that the more you take them back for the same thing, the less they respect you. And so we need to get the help outside of the awareness so we can accept the fact that this isn't going to be anything more than what it is. We need to get the help so we can take accountability for our behavior, not his. See, here's the thing. His cheating has nothing to do with you. And I think what it is it's hard to not make it personal, because you may think, well, wow, if I do everything, then this will be enough for him to be faithful. No, his behaviors has something to do with him. That's what he has to take accountability for. You need to get the help so you can take the proper actionable steps to stay away and build your mental IQ, your emotional IQ. Like right now, you're vulnerable. Right now, that person can manipulate and play on that vulnerability. And you may not have the mental resilience to just stay away. And so disruption is saying, who do I need to get in between me going back? And that's very, very important. And the other reason why this matters, because even if you left this individual, right? Let's just say you left, the probability of you entertaining someone else in that same capacity could be higher. Why? Because we still got to detox. We still got to do some internal work. Here's the thing. Dissolving the relationship is half the battle. The rest of it is how it leaves you. And we have to realize that. When we say, man, I keep attracting the same type of person over and over again, so leaving him won't be enough for you in terms of your growth and evolvement. Yeah, you may no longer be with this individual, but then what happens if we meet someone else similar? Or what if we meet someone who's completely different? See, it ain't always meeting a similar person. Sometimes we can meet somebody who's totally opposite than what we've experienced. But we're so scared of it, so we run. Remember, I asked you all that the other day. If what you wanted came today, would you be able to receive it? You got to think, if someone's constantly cheating on you, let me explain something, ladies. Cheating is trauma. And I think it's important for you all to understand that. Cheating is a form of trauma. So trauma is anything that impacts your psychological well-being. So you better understand that this is impacting your psychological well-being. And so it's going to be twice as hard for you to embrace anything different because you're so traumatized, because you keep going back. In other words, you keep opening up a wound that needs to be healed. I think we need to start understanding what this stuff is doing. We need to start like really saying, what is it really doing to me? Because what happens is we'll be like, well, he's not a bad person. Yeah, but he's making bad decisions and it's impacting you. And we don't want to minimize that. We don't want to act like, well, no, it matters. Okay. And so I hope that answers your question.